Welcome to Dead Man Talking. Tonight's story is a very chilling encounter with the terrifying Dogman. Three individuals on a very lonely, rural country road encountered a Dogman, something they never thought they'd ever lay eyes upon, let alone even existed. This story has been shared with us thanks to my great friend Darrell over at Midwest Dogman Sightings and Research. Thank you ever so much, Darrell, for your support. Wonderful man, people. Really intelligent, knows a lot about these creatures, their backgrounds, their habitats, and their behaviour. And you might remember Darrell's story from last week. Very scary encounter he had himself earlier on this year in March. Without further ado, guys, let us get into tonight's story. DMT. This encounter took place in the summer of 2015 on US 53 North in Minnesota. The three men, Randy, Bob and Brandon, were on their way through Minnesota to meet up with another friend who lived in International Falls. The men had planned a fishing trip. It must have been about 1 a.m. and the road had very little traffic. A car would possibly pass every 15 minutes or so. The three were driving along, listening to the radio, when out of nowhere, a deer slammed into the side of the truck. As you can guess, this was quite odd, a deer hitting the vehicle. You see, it impacted the passenger side door. Usually a deer would jump over the bonnet on the front of the car, but this actually impacted the side, I can only guess in sheer panic. Immediately, Randy pulled over to the side of the road. He exited the truck. He then stated that he heard something big crashing through the woods. He jumped back into the truck, believing it was a bear. The other two men asked him, "What was that? What's going on?" Then they all saw the deer run off northbound in the middle of the highway. Then something stepped out of the woods. It walked on two legs in front of the truck. Brandon asked the other two men if that was a bear. Bob replied, "That does not look like any bear I have ever seen." Then, as the creature stepped foot onto the road, it stopped. The three men were in awe at what they were looking at, as the creature turned its head and looked down at them. Then, Brandon yelled out, "That ain't no bear." It was so tall that through the headlights its head was shaded, but huge. They could make out a snout. They could not make out much more detail at that time as it towered over the truck. But the eyes shined a golden yellow, and the body was massive. The creature looked at the three of the men for a few seconds and then turned its head north, down the highway, and started running on its hind legs. How the hell can something that big run on two legs? As soon as it took off running and was a shadow on the road in the faint moonlight, Randy turned on his KC lights. It lit the road up like a Christmas tree, and as it did, the creature dropped to all fours and turned around. In the middle of the highway, the three men could now see the entire creature. It was now walking back towards the truck, and the three said it looked pissed, showing its teeth and everything. Randy said he was afraid to take off north and keep driving. He said he would have to pass right beside it within feet, so slamming the truck into reverse and punching the gas was really the only option. But would there be enough time to back up and do a U-turn before this thing was on top of them? Either way, they thought they were fucked. Randy kept the lights on the creature as he slowly backed up just to see if it would charge, and also to put some distance between them and it. Bob and Brandon kept yelling, "Go, go, go, go!" Randy yelled back, "Shut up, I am!" The other two men yelled back, "Not fast enough!" Randy put about 75 feet between the creature and the truck, then slammed it into drive and did a U-turn and took off back south the way they had just come. Then the truck shook as if it had been hit by something. Brandon, being in the back, looked out the rear window and yelled for Randy to speed up as it was right on their arse. Randy said he hit 50 miles an hour and asked Brandon if it was still behind us. His reply was at first yes, and then no. "I can't see it anymore." The three drove for about 40 minutes until they found a motel. After not being able to sleep that night, the three returned home the next morning. I asked the three if they got a good look at the creature. All said yes at exactly the same time. At first, they all thought it was a bear, then a Sasquatch. But as all of the lights on the truck lit it up, it told a very different story. I asked the three men a variety of questions. These are some of my notes. Number 1. How close was the closest it was from the front of the truck? Their reply was about 5 feet. Question 2. About how tall on 2 legs would you approximate its height? They replied, that son of a bitch had to have been at least 9 feet. Question 3. Did you see the hands or paws? Their reply was, it had paws like a raccoon and the claws kind of turned inward, real long and black. Question 4. Did it have a muzzle? Their reply was, yes, with a mouth full of teeth. The teeth looked almost too big for its mouth. Question 5. What about the face? Their reply was, exact words, a fucking werewolf. Question 6. What about the body? Their reply was, matted dark brown fur. It's like it walked on the front part of its back, like tiptoed the rest of its back foot was off the ground. It had a thick chest and a little waist. A bear is simply round and plump. Question 7. What was the leg structure like? What was it shaped like? Reply was, like a horse's rear leg. Question 8. Did you see the ears? Their reply was, they were pointed like a dog or a wolf. Question 9. Eyes. What did the eyes look like? Their reply was, like a big cat, yellow gold in colour. Question 10. How fast would you estimate this thing was moving? Their reply was, a minimum of 45 miles an hour. Question 11. What was the shaking you experienced? Their reply, I believe this thing slapped the arse end of my truck. What else could it have been? The morning we left the motel, I got pulled over for a busted tail light. Question 12. What was your reaction when the deer hit the truck? Reply at first, stunned. I have never seen a deer run into the side of a vehicle. I have seen them jump over the hood of a car, but never into the side of a vehicle. Question 13. This was simply for Brandon. How long did you watch it in the back window? Brandon's reply was, I didn't take my eyes off it. It looked as if it was going to catch up to us. It was hauling ass. Question 14. Could you have been mistaken for this to be a Sasquatch? Their reply was, no, never seen a Bigfoot, but hell no. Question 15. Did you smell anything before it walked in front of the truck? Their reply, no, just that woodland smell. Question 16. Did you tell anyone what you had seen? Their reply was, a few people, but they simply laugh at us. And police, hell no. Bob said I did, and the police said, have a nice day, buddy, and smiled like I was crazy. These are most of the questions I asked. Bob didn't want to talk much. He just lit up a cigarette after cigarette and was visibly shaking. I was going to travel that stretch of highway, and I asked the men if they would like to come along. Their reply was, we will show you on the map, but not going up there ever again. Wow. I hope you guys enjoyed that encounter. I know I sure did. It's a crazy, crazy story. You can imagine a dogman running up behind your truck as you try to make the getaway, and it simply bangs the truck as if it can go even faster. Please do let us know below in the comments. Please do like, please do share, and as ever folks, remember, be safe, not sorry.